folks, Defensive Architect here, coming to you with a video talking about my scheme. I have made a few changes with my playbook, my defensive playbook, and one of the changes that I did make was add cover 6 to the playbook, because my cover 2s were a little bit weak, only because with the cover 4, yes, you're going to get slants, yes, you're going to get the corner routes, the routes to the corner, the outside, somewhere between the safeties and the corners, and you're also going to get that out route that you're going to get. You're going to get the shallows and all the other stuff too, but more often than not, they're going to try to shoot for that, those inside cuts, those digs, those outside routes, those out routes and those corner routes. So, cover 2 is okay, but cover 6 covers a little bit more ground. And even though you're still a little bit vulnerable on the cover 2 side, because if you don't know, cover 6 is a hybrid of cover 2 and cover 4, so hence cover 6. So on the cover 2 side, it's a little bit more vulnerable, even though I tend to run the cover 6 more so with I would say more so with overloaded offenses that have overloaded sides, or I think that's how you properly use it. I'm not a football savant or anything like that. I just kind of do what works on here, but the cover 6 works well when you're trying to cover flats on the weak side as well. If they're running like a pro offense with a 2 receiver on the right or the left side, or 3 receivers that are running like a trips or something like that. It also can work if they're running like bunches and all that kind of stuff, but you'll be a little bit more vulnerable to the vertical routes and stuff like that. Anyway, I added the cover 6 because I wanted to cover just a little bit more ground when it comes to audibling or adjusting to when they attack the cover 4. Okay, so that's kind of my philosophy with that, or my theory, if you will, with my playbook. So I added the cover 6. Now I wanted to show you guys so far with it, as far as my update with the defense here. Now with this defense this season, I'm pretty much #1 in every statistical category with this playbook. I think I kind of found the sweetest spot possible with a simulation defense, because as most of you know, the content that I do create is for simulation. I'm trying to simulate, football scenarios. I'm not trying to exploit glitches and nano blitzes and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the other videos, they'll do that stuff, and that's primarily for player to player, in my opinion. But if you're playing against a computer, especially if you're playing on all Madden, you're going to have to kind of carry on with a with more of a simulation approach. Okay, so this is what I bring to the table when it comes to the content and the things that I'm delivering to the audience. So as far as our offense, as far as our defense is concerned, we're #1 in pretty much every single statistical category, literally. Interceptions, touchdowns allowed, points per game, sacks, takeaways, interceptions, fumble recoveries, red zone defense. This is a really, really, really good scheme that I've developed. And the thing is, with this scheme, okay, as we kind of go on with my playbook here, with this scheme, first of all, it's kind of still my cover 4 scheme. Technically, it's still my cover 4 playbook, but I added the cover 6. So as you can see here, there are also some other things that I've added as well to the playbook. And in my playbook, what I've done what I've done is I've added the cover six. I've also added some blitzing. So I still have my edge blitzing. I have my quarters, cover four, and I have the cover six. What I've also added was the dime defense. Okay, so I've kind of placed in some extra defensive backs. Now I've done this because even though I have a really good playbook, and even though the playbook that I do currently have, especially my cover four playbook, is pretty effective, the thing is there are moments where my defense does get burned, because I have too many linebackers out there. They're running a 3 or 4 wide receiver package, and I'm out here with linebackers. And even though my linebackers are pretty fast, especially with blitzing, they're very fast actually, but that football, when they throw it, is faster. So as soon as they see that blitz, even if I audible and I make those adjustments, they're ready to counter that. And by the time it gets to that receiver, and in many cases the running back, they're throwing underneath, that guy is getting like extra chunk of yards. He's like way ahead of my linebacker, and he's getting like 10-15 yards a pop. So even though our red zone defense is good, and even though our overall defense is good, running only a pro defense, like a base defense, I should say, running a base defense is not really going to benefit you in terms of critical situations. Even if you have a really good defense, like I said, the defenses that I've developed, especially with the other content that you've seen with other teams that I've played with, those defenses are pretty strong. But those matchups, no matter how great a defense is, the offense, if they see a hole in that defense, if they see a weakness in that defense, they're definitely going to take advantage of it. So that's why I implemented the dime defense, adding that extra defensive back, or 2 extra defensive backs in this case. It really adds a different element, and it really helps out a lot in terms of the matchups, and in terms of really making that defense even stronger. Like I said, the defense that I do currently have, even with the base defense, is still strong. I could still execute a number 1 defense in the league, even with a base defense, but with a dime defense or some kind of extra defensive back in there, it actually creates a different element that can make your defense even stronger. So that's what I've done here. And I've added the cover 6, like I said. I've also added the Foxfire zone press, which is a zone blitz package, a zone blitz play, I should say. And that's a pretty effective play against the trips, against the trips offense, and also against the bunch offense and stuff like that, because you're able to kind of get in there while those receivers are tight. You're able to kind of jump on those passes, those quick passes, and jump ahead of that. If they're running a normal defense, most of these zone blitzes, period, aren't that effective against normal offenses. So you can't run that all the time. But what I do tend to do is I do tend to run the cover 4 as a base. So I run the cover 4 as a base, even with the dime defense, and then I audible to maybe the cover 3. If it's a base, if it's a 4 receiver formation, sometimes I will just go to the cover 3, because I know that with the cover 4, they're either going to try to run those slant routes, or they're going to try to run those digs and stuff like that. And when they run those digs, if you audible to a cover 3 in the dime, those defensive backs get to that ball faster. So that's why I'm turning to my dime defense, and I've added that to this playbook. I've also renamed the playbook to cover 6. And I will have a video about how to run cover 6. Sometime in the future, I will run a cover 6 playbook, an actual cover 6 playbook that I will structure and build. But technically, this is my cover 4 playbook, but I just named it cover 6. So just to make things easier for me. But yeah, as far as my audibles, my audible packages here, my audible packages are pretty strong. I have the cover 6 in there. Okay, let's see. Let's start with let's start with the 4-3. We'll start with the 4-3. So I have the cover 1 contain. I run the cover 1 contain against maybe like bunches. Sometimes I run it against the trips, but I audible to the cover 1 contain just to mix things up, just to kind of throw them off the scent. Even if they make a successful play, I just need them to see that I'm running a man-to-man every now and then. I have this, of course, my linebacker zone blitz. I like that LB zone blitz. That's a really good blitz to audible to. My cover 6 and then the press quarters. I also have, and that's just with the base, the normal 4-3. Okay, I've also made some adjustments with the cover blitz here, the zone blitz here, and I'm running the strong slant 3 on the odd. Okay, so this is the odd, and also, what else we got? The and then also the I think this is the over. So I'm running some of the same stuff in the over as well, and you guys kind of get it. I've also run made some changes with the 4-3 under, added the cover 6, and added the edge blitz, the edge sting. I don't run man-to-man blitz that often, because it tends to get way overexposed, and plus they're kind of, I have a lot of speed up front with my front 4, so they're already ready to just jack the ball off. So I'm not going to, blitz too much. But when I do blitz, I tend to run more zone blitzes than anything else. Now here in my dime playbook here, my dime package, I have the cover 6, but I have the Foxfire zone blitz in here as well. And this is for my safety to get a jump on the ball. So I need the safety to cover those curl and those seam routes so that, you can jump on that ball really quickly. I'm also running the cover 3 buzz as well. So that's the dime defense that I've added into my playbook. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate in the next video what this particular playbook looks like and how to actually execute this playbook. So let's go ahead and run to that right now. Before we get into the actual game, I should mention the fact that I have made changes to the playbook as well, as far as my situational football. So what I have done is I have pretty much rated a lot of the plays based on the situation and based on formations that each team is playing in, or that most teams play in, especially to so-called counter what I'm doing. A lot of them run a lot of the same packages. So I have preset plays that automatically move and adjust to those particular situations without me having to go physically into the formation section and try to dig and find certain plays. I already have the plays set and preset. And when you watch the game as I'm doing my commentary, just notice how I'm going to the coach's suggestion. So when I click on coach's suggestion, there are plays that are preset and laid and ready for me to implement, and the looks that I'm ready to show the offense. And I'm also audibling to these particular plays as well. So keep that in mind. I'm not to these plays, but I'm audibling to other plays based on what I see in the situation that I want to implement and change up so that I can kind of throw the offense off the scent a little bit. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it, and let's watch the game. Hello, folks. Here we are at the game right now. We're going to do some commentary on the playbook that I just sort of ran down or kind of brushed by, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, as I mentioned prior to showing this video, the coach's suggestion, I have implemented some plays and have made adjustments based on plays that I've rated as most important in terms of situations. Bam, there's a pick already. It's already working for me. So there, there you have it. It's already working. So that's the first pick. The very first play of the game, he threw a pick. And I should mention too that this is a bad team. The Rams aren't that good in this particular season I'm playing in. And they are what, 5-8, I guess they are. And yeah, so they're not that good. I probably should have recorded a better game, maybe against a better, more competitive opponent. But nonetheless, the same things apply regardless of who you're playing and things of that nature. And so I'm just sort of showcasing the situations and the things that I am doing and the adjustments I'm making here. So I'm audibling to the man-to-man, and already we're making plays. So we kind of threw him off the scent there. And I'm running a zone blitz here. And so far we're getting, so far we're doing okay. We're giving up some plays. We're giving up some yards right now, at least on the ground. So we're running that cover 4 base. That cover 4 palms is actually a really good play. I like that a lot. It's just enough spacing, just enough coverage, so that you can see everything that's happening underneath. So when he threw that underneath pass that you just saw, we're able to defend that. Okay, so right now I have audible to the cover, to the zone blitz there. And so you're just watching me kind of turn to that cover 4 base. I just want to keep showing that look. That's good defense right there. I want to keep showing that look because that's going to be the framework we're going to revolve our defense around. And I think he's going to miss that. Yeah, so he misses it. So we're going to implement everything that's revolved around that cover 4. So everything that I have preset is preset to that cover 4. Every situation. So, so we're getting some really good coverage so far. It's early in the first quarter, so you never know. With Madden, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, and all kinds of stuff. So, my defenses aren't absolutely perfect. Okay, so there are games where I do struggle. There are games where things kind of happen and go awry, but all in all, my defenses are pretty consistent. So as you can see here, they keep running the same formations. You can see that they're running certain formations against my defenses. Okay, they're running certain pro offenses. Sometimes they go to the shotgun, but they're running a lot of pro offense because they are trying to run the ball against my cover 4, which I should mention too. Again, is the reason why I'm running the cover 4. Running the cover 4 gives them the illusion or the impression that I'm going to run this coverage every single time. So therefore, that's going to trigger them to run the ball. So you'll see me adjust and make audibles, create audibles. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so you'll see me audibling a lot. Audibling into a lot of zone blitz packages and stuff like that, just in case they run the ball. So right now he's trying to now run the spread offense, trying to spread me out. But I have something for that, and that is my my dime defense. And as you saw there with that sack, when you run that dime defense, that front line, they put the fastest players, the fastest defensive linemen in that front line. So you're going to have like 2 outside linemen, 2 like the left end and the right end are going to be in the middle. And you're going to have like a linebacker on both sides as well, on the outside, I should say. in that front four. So when you run the dime, you know, those guys are going to move the line pretty quickly. Like they're going to get to the quarterback very quickly. And that's going to prompt the quarterback to run the ball. So far they're driving the ball against us. There goes another sack. You know, so we're doing pretty good right now. Even though they're driving the ball down the field against us and such, you know, they're doing okay, I guess. But here's that. So we're audibling, and yeah, I don't understand why both guys needed to cover that outside, but okay. So yeah, that's how you got that play off. It was two guys covering the outside. That wasn't necessary. But anyway, so right now I'm running the cover 6. I can already kind of see it. Running that cover 6. Okay, he's going to run and score here, I believe. Okay, so they got their little touchdown there. Finally got their touchdown. So now that we're up, because we scored on our possession. So now they're going back to their little pro offense and stuff like that. And I will say a lot of what I'm doing here, I am trying to trigger them to run. I will be honest. Like I'm trying to trigger the computer to implement more of a balanced offense. And I'm doing that purposefully. Because first of all, they're wasting a lot of time, which is what I like. If they're going to, here's something you need to understand. If you're going to give up a touchdown, you need to make them work for it. They need to work for that touchdown. They cannot just go down the field and just chuck 2 or 3 passes down the field and then they're in the red zone. You can't allow the computer to just run down the field like that. And that was really good coverage there. That was really nice run coverage. So you can't allow the offense to just obliterate your defense like that. You have to make them work, and that's what we're trying to do. And wow, nice pick, beautiful pick. Now what I did there, just kind of break this down because I know I'm rambling. What I did there, I actually had a look that I gave them that was a zone blitz at first. And then I readjusted to the cover 4. So what he thought was going to happen was he was going to be able to run that slant at that point. And but my my middle linebacker was waiting right there, ready to roll. So he got that interception, and we scored on that possession too. Okay, so there was a roughing the passer call there. Okay, so the defense is looking really, really good right now. We're on the offensive on defense. So right now we're doing really good on defense. They're driving the ball a little bit again. They're trying to get those cheap points. They're probably trying to go for a field goal here. But yeah. Okay, so that was a weird pass, but all right. So far he has 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, no passing touchdowns. Which is another thing. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I prefer to give up rushing touchdowns near the red zone because I'm confident in my defense in that front 7. So I rather run a lot of zones and stuff like that in the red zone and take away the pass and force them to run it in, which is what you saw on their scoring possession, which is what they did. But I just hate when the offense passes for touchdowns. I know it's going to happen every now and then. It's the NFL, it's Madden, but you know, it's beautiful pick. That was wonderful. Now what I did there was I gave them that cover 6 look, right? Gave them the cover 6 look, and then I adjusted to the slant. I believe it was the slant zone blitz. And that forced them to throw a bad pass. So he threw a bad pass, and it went right to that corner. So that was a beautiful play right there. I think what he expected was with the cover 6, usually the seams are open a lot of times. So I guess he thought he was trying to throw there, but it just got away from him. But anyway, we're in the second half. Now in the second half, I only scored a field goal, but I held the ball for like I don't know, 7 minutes or something like that. Actually longer than that. I think it was like almost 10 minutes. And we only got a field goal out of that. But, you know, they weren't able to, you know, get the ball as quickly as possible. And what I tend to do in the second half on offense, I tend to work the clock a little bit more, because I know that they're going to try to turn up later. So I try to kill the momentum in the second half. I don't like to go tit for tat with teams a lot of times. So I like to play the possession game as well. So anyway, yeah. And here, this idiot threw a interception. Sometimes on Madden, they'll do that little cheesy stuff where the guy throws an inaccurate pass, and it just completely goes away from the receiver, and a lot of times it goes right into the hands of the corner, of the defensive back. So now we're playing red zone defense, and we're trying to keep them from scoring, but yeah, they're going to score here. So yeah, they're only down by 10. And there was a weird play that happened, and I apologize for the glitching here. I don't know if you guys know if I mentioned it, but I am playing on Stadia. I am playing on Stadia, so my internet connection sometimes gets a little weird. Sometimes I try to fix that and work around those things so I could try to give you guys a smoother experience. But sometimes if it gets a little glitchy like that, it's because of the Stadia website. But anyway, yeah, so right now we are running a lot of audibles against this guy. Now, this particular cat, he's trying to get rid of the ball really quickly. So we're going to try to give him a lot of different looks. Okay, so and what I'm doing is I'm timing my audibles. And I'm trying to time it just before the snap. That's a beautiful interception. And that's the reason why I do that. That's exactly the reason why I do that. So that's the 4th interception that this guy has thrown in this game. So that's beautiful. And that's, it's almost the end of the game. But so yeah, was that the 3rd or the 4th? I think he threw 5 picks. I'm not sure. Oh, no, he threw 4. We just kept dropping interceptions. We should have had like 6 or 7 interceptions in this game. But yeah, so we're running a lot of audibles, a lot of different looks. So as you can see with what we're doing, this guy has 4 interceptions, no touchdowns. What we're doing here is we're just trying to mix things up, and we're doing it dramatically. So what I'm doing is I'm timing my audibles, as I mentioned earlier. And as you saw earlier with the pick, I'm timing the audible just before the snap. That should have been a pick right there. But that's another little secret in terms of trying to work with, you know, your defenses and trying to gain an advantage on the offense. You need to audible at the point of just before the snap. And that should have been picked, but it wasn't. So, and this is the last play of the game here pretty much for this recording. So once again, audible, we're running at cover 3. That should have been a pick, but okay. But anyway, yeah, so at the end of the game, or near the end of the game, I threw another interception in the red zone, and this guy, you know, I threw a pick 6 in the red zone, so that was my mistake, but we won by 3. And so this was a really good game, and this was a textbook game that I'm glad I recorded, because this is how you play defense with this kind of scheme that I'm running. And yeah, so this is a really good display of how good your defense can be if you do all the right things with your playbook and call the right plays and audible to the right plays. So thanks for watching, guys. Defensive Architect is checking out. You guys have a great day.